Presentations are about to begin, and we're starting with forecast. You have 5 minutes, and that time starts as soon as I can figure out how to bring up a timer on my phone. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Be a hacker. Start. Sean, go.
And we're Forecast. So we made an app. This is our about page, and it talks about how we made an app, a web app that allows you to find everything going on in your hometown at the moment, and it's based on the weather. So if it's a sunny day, it'll show you things that you can do. If it's nice out, if it's rainy, it'll give you more indoor activities. You can search. So our homepage, you can look up by zip code or by town, and then you click one of the dollar signs, and that designates how much you're willing to spend. And then our results will come up, and these are all of the results that we have right now. This is pulling data, and it's all sports and parks in the area that are in Allentown. Oh, okay. So you can click one of those, and it'll show you a bigger description, and that allows you to link to the website and reviews of that place.
And right now it's not working on the actual site, but it will be like this.
So the live site is more of a work in progress at the moment. We get all the data in there, but for some reason, lots of things work when we merge kind of the back end.
There's all of these different types of activities, and you would be able to search, so sort by that stuff.
A feature that we'd like to add if we had a little bit more time would be to have people enter in their own events if they have something going on with some kind of verification, of course. So you don't get just weird people trying to get people to come to their house. I don't know, common sense maybe. But yeah, then kind of integrate with this little database that we built of local stuff around your hometown. So it's pretty simple.
Questions from the meeting? Questions from the judges that are scattered, hidden. That wasn't going to work long.
I have one. At inception on Friday, where were you guys at with this? Did you come in with the idea already, or did you think of it when you got here?
We had the idea, but we hadn't done anything yet. So we started doing user experience stuff and went from there.
How are you sourcing the activities that are going on there? Like, what are the places that you're querying?
So we're using a few different APIs. First, we're getting, based on the zip code that you enter, we're getting your coordinates from Google's geocoding API. And then we feed that into forecast.io, which gives you weather forecast for the area, for whatever coordinates you enter in. And then based on that weather, we're just kind of judging it based on the high temperature for the day and the chance of precipitation. So if it's really hot out and it's not going to rain at all, then we show you places that are mostly outdoor activities and that kind of stuff, or if it's cold and rainy, then mostly indoor stuff. And the actual places that we're pulling from the Google Places API. So it's a Google Maps thing. You enter in a zip code and a kind of like a category of stuff of places that you want. So we have a set. We predefined a set of categories. So if it's sunny out, then we have like tennis, golf, that kind of stuff, and then we search for those kind of places around and feed them in.
So I have a question. What's the background of the team? Are you guys app developers by day, or where are you guys at capability-wise coming this weekend?
Myself, Mary Kate, and Al are all students at Kutztown University, and Sean's at University of Chicago.
So that was, I guess really the only back end guy on this weekend. I'm very tired.
So we were more the design and the things and the front end coding development.
And what inspired this idea? You said you came with it, kind of had a seed of it before the weekend. Where did it come from?
I get bored a lot when I'm at home, and I wanted to fix that. So that's really it.
Okay.
So when people enter this in, would they put in like this is an outdoor activity, or like this is something you want to do if it's sunny, or?
They don't have to enter any of that in at all. You just put in your zip code, and then we look at the weather for your zip code and kind of determine for you if, you know, you should be looking at outdoor activities or not.
Okay.
Or at least
But you
they're-
tell them it's outdoors, like someone types in something.
Yeah, so it's kind of based off these little icons we have
Okay.
when they're showing there, you can see if they're outdoors.
So we got VoteWise. You guys ready to go? You're on the screen.
Okay. So we're building VoteWise. It's a website where voters and politicians can connect without advertising dollars getting in the way. This weekend our goal was to cobble together 2 years worth of work from a number of different coders, activists, notes from arguments, drawings, and video to make it bring it all together and make it seamless. Up here, my hopes were like right here, and we actually got like right here, which is awesome. Word that we then integrated into a database which we created this weekend. We created and populated databases, researched candidates, searched APIs, and found a number of ones that were great, some of which are really expensive. We're like, let's see, we took mock-ups that were created in Angular and JavaScript and forced them into a PHP framework for a live web application that's fully loaded. We had awesome team members, some who knew PHP, others specializing in Ruby, which totally don't, but we made it work. Others knowing nothing about coding at all. There were very clear gaps in our knowledge, but we found a way to fill in the holes, most of them anyway. So here's what we can show. All right, so first of all, there's different kinds of users, so you can log in as a voter, and you see the different subjects. So let's say the environment. And we get a subset of environmental questions. So you see a question, and we have the question up here, and you agree or disagree on a, and you say, how important this thing is. You can go to background if you want, and it says, well, it's not from Lao Tzu. So, but anyway, so the databases and the front end aren't entirely quite connected yet, but they're very, very close, and they're actually updates even from here. Like 5 minutes ago, she made other changes we haven't updated yet. When it is fully operational, the question page will look a little more like this than we had the other one. But we are so close. We are so close. What's that? Oh, video, right. So we also made a video. We also have a few things that just don't show up, like we made a sign-in page that's not currently in the mix.
VoteWise is a website where voters and politicians can connect without advertising dollars getting in the way. No meaningless speeches, no kissing babies, just clear black and white answers. You can find out what they truly want to do, and perhaps more importantly, you can tell them what they should do. After you create your user profile, you can go to any topic you want. Answer at least 10 multiple choice questions, and the politician icon will pop up. You can pick which politician to look at and compare their answers side by side with yours. Ready to start? Let's go.
Questions from the judges? And grab your laptop, kind of slide off to the side so Jason Steve.
So you go to this web app and you fill out this thing and it gives you a list of candidates that meet what you picked from that
VoteWise,
selection list?
So what you do is you fill out, you answer some questions, politicians answer questions, and then you can compare who matches. It's a way for you to express what you want the world to, it's a way for you to express your politicians what you want them to do. And it's a way for the politicians to get free polling data on what their constituents want to have happen. So this is particularly important in local elections, for like school board, for example. When you go to on election day, you have no idea what these people stand for. Even the local papers don't let them say anything more than a little paragraph. Well, this allows them to answer 1,000 questions that they want for free.
Okay.
It's kind of like an OkCupid for
Yeah,
voters.
when the site is done, it's going to be a combination of OkCupid for politicians, Wikipedia for politicians, and Reddit for politicians. So you can find out, so you can directly communicate with your politician through black and white multiple choice answers that have add your own comment. You can go on the Reddit section and talk about the issues with people in your town, in your county, in your state, or across the United States on all these issues. And then you can also go to the Learn About section where you can read essays from the staff, which is relatively neutral, and also from the interest groups, which are, you know, highly polar. And the users can say whether the essays are factual, not factual, leaning too far one way or another, or whatever. But so that the other readers get to benefit from their opinions.
You gave us a little breakdown at the beginning of what your expectations were. So could you just give me that again from Friday to where you are now? You know, if you had to grade yourself 1 to 10, where do you think you're as far as?
12.
So you're way ahead what you thought.
Yes. Judging from what, you know, what's happened in the past, we did really well this weekend. It was like I'm ecstatic.
We've rewritten it twice.
It's awesome. I'm happy.
So you have a T-shirt already printed.
Yes.
So, and you mentioned you had thousands of questions. So
Yes.
this is an idea that's been in your head for a while, or
Yes.
something that makes sense?
This is something that we've actually been, you know, before this weekend we had, you know, for a couple of years we've been working on this thing. But what's been is like a coder here working for, you know, a few hours contributing code and then disappearing. A coder here contributing code and disappearing. So on rare occasions we get a chance to whole bunch of people together, take all these scrap pads and say, okay, put it together. And that's what these guys did this weekend.
And so from the idea that popped into someone's head to today, what percentage of that would you say was accomplished this weekend?
Functionality.
So percentage-wise.
So I got 0 functionality before, now it has functionality.
Okay. And so tell me about, how is the content of this site policed or monitored? Is there anyone that's like responsible, or is it really kind of like a total free form, everyone just logs in and fills out their information and goes on its own?
When it's done, which is not done right now, the information filled out for the question and answer is all self-reporting. So the politicians self-report, the voters self-report. And then for the user forum, that is or populated policed. So the user A can censor user B, but if user B says I was improperly censored, they could send that up one level, and the people up one level will judge it and say, okay, well this person was unfairly censored, and then the person who did the censoring will get suspended for a while.
Okay. I have one more question, but I don't want to cut you under the mix.
No, I'm good.
So, tell me how this application functions as far as the data exchange and kind of commenting on issues compares from the politician standpoint. It's like what the League of Women Voters does with their.
So League of Women Voters is made up of 9,000 smaller organizations. Each one of them has their own deal. Most of the League of Women Voters organizations will send out between 1 and 10 questions to the candidates for them to answer. So this that's one-way communication. The politician gets to talk to the voters. Voters don't get to talk to the politicians. This, and also when you're doing a poll to voters, the poll questions are usually about 10 questions long and don't allow you to add your own comments. So this allows the voters to talk in very, very specific terms about things that are passionate to them and say how passionate they are about it and also add their own comments. Likewise, the same is true of the politicians. By forcing them to do a choose your own multiple choice, it puts their answers in black and white terms in which the voters can understand and compare, and it also has the ability for them to add their own comments, so it's because life doesn't fit into multiple choice.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Yeah, they did, I guess. Thank you.
All right, guys. I stole your chair. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Okay. So we are a Team Alpha Wolf Squadron, and we created U-Notes. And UNotes basically was an idea Crystal came up with, and we kind of developed in the car as we got here.
Yeah.
And basically it's predominantly an app that is used to share notes. So if you were to miss class or you want to study and compare notes, that's what the whole app is for. And it's all based on location, and you can share, you can enroll in classes within your university to find these notes. So in order to share the notes, you can take pictures of the notes, or you can manually enter the notes into the app and upload them into the feed. And then you can also, we'd like to add at a later time, you can also record your professor's voice, which would convert into text. So we executed the app, which is the main function of the entire UNotes idea, and in which Crystal will demonstrate, show the design. And then we also created a website, which is basically just an extension of the app. So you can access it online. If you're in class typing notes, you can also access it and make huge note files and whatnot.
UNotes is also really good because you can always go back to it. So let's say your notebook, you left it somewhere, you can just go on UNotes and pull it up. God forbid your dog ate your whole notebook, you can go online and look it up. So it's very like convenient, yeah. Okay. So this is what the design looks like. How it all together. You can sign up here. And then, oh, right here? Okay. You put your email in. Okay, you put your email in, and then you log on. Oh, and by the way, I have to point this out. The background was made by our head designer, Ella. So, then you log in, and then this is your profile. You guys can see it too. And on here is your notes, so you can add notes onto it. And that's how it would look. You can put audio and you can put photography in there, and you can add to class. You can search up a class, and you can, if you need, you can search a class. And you add it by professor and the name of the class, and then you can add to class. And then you can also, when you search for class, when you click this button, you find the list of your class. And you can also edit your profile on here, and you can log out.
And now we're going to show the functions of it between the app, which Jason worked on, and the website, which Kevin.
So real quick, the app doesn't look anywhere as good as the actual design because I spent time doing the functionality and not the important design. But it does all work. It does have, so Kevin's going to show logging in. He's going to show showing real notes and everything. These are all the notes that I've done. I've added, and from here I can add photo notes. I can add a photo note, for example, take pictures of some random people in the audience. I can add that, and this is going to get saved to a specific class, and then Wi-Fi being what it is in demos, it's going to be really slow, but it does all work. Do you want to go ahead and log in?
All right. So I already created my account as me, Kevin Chen. I'm gonna sign right in. And wait for the Wi-Fi. I love technology now. Why we're all here.
Yeah, if you're not actively using the network, I hate to ask, you just drop off.
All right, switched over to 3G, but for example, like here were earlier photos that we had of like some hack themes and stuff like that, so you could easily go ahead and like we had the broadcast team while they were up there, and we added that. I added that note, and from here you can find local classes, and so you can see all the these are like different classes that you can easily add, and these are all the classes that I belong to. And for example, like here's the hackathon one, and hopefully this will 3G stats in there. Oh, you want to add a note?
Real quick. I'm gonna add
30
a note.
seconds.
All right, I'm gonna add a note on this computer, and then I'm gonna add to the class that we created for the hackathon, and save it.
Yeah, see right there. You just added the hi, I'm Kevin in there.
All right, it
So-
actually went through.
It does use location and everything. Okay.
All right, questions from the judges? Questions, unplug your device. I'll do that.
So I sense there's kind of two backgrounds of the team, more of a design, idea, creative, visual, and more of a programming side. So really the weekend started with just an idea. You can tell me a little bit more about your backgrounds then and what happened throughout the weekend?
Well, this group here, we're from the town, and we're graphic design majors. We also do interactive, but we're like more of the front end part of interactive. And these guys were like a miracle. So they helped us with the back end. They were amazing. So
yeah, it kind of worked really well because Jason sort of took on the app, and two designers went with him, and then Kevin took on like most of the web development, and two designers kind of paired off with him. So we sort of divided and conquered.
I never did any web development before this. I learned everything on the spot. I had a lot of fun. Learned a lot.
Very true.
Can I ask you guys, tomorrow, could you give somebody access to this on campus and they use it?
I could actually install it. So I can't. It's not up in the App Store yet, but I could install it on your phone right now, and if you have an iPhone, and you could try it out right here now.
A few of us, some of us have it on our phones, and we were writing notes. And
It is a hackathon, so there's absolutely zero error checking whatsoever and stuff like that. But you know, if you wanted to try it out, I could install it and you could see it
Did you
work.
use it in your work?
We
put the password of the Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, and then there was a couple times when the first night we were like, oh man, I could share this to you easily,
that's what I mean.
but I have to I have to get your email. I just have to do so much just to give it to you, and you're right here. So.
But it was hard for us design kids to wrap our mind around not having a finished app to show, because that's like what we're used to. So, but we did work really hard on the branding and the user friendliness, flow and whatnot. So we did put a lot of time into that and making sure that it was easy to comprehend and easy to use, and especially for students. So yeah.
And I still think that from the idea that literally I thought of the idea an hour before we came. So the fact that we finished it pretty much is really awesome.
It's visible,
Yeah.
it blew my mind.
Yeah. And Ella worked very hard. Okay. Ella.
I'm just mad you got it to work because now people are going to skip my class.
Whenever I sleep through it now.
Right, yeah, you can just get home. Yeah.
I mean, but it's definitely for that reason. If you miss class,
Right.
if I guess if you skip, but if
No.
you I mean, you just don't want to go to Miller's class.
You could
teach them to a phone that's sitting there.
Right.
You know what you could do is sign up under like a student's account and add notes in there that are completely and utterly wrong.
Which we will implement a rating system for that, so that people can't do that.
Oh yeah, there is a rating system.
Yeah.
So if your notes are not deemed decent and you're giving out crappy information, there will be ideally a rating system in which if you get a low enough rating, your notes will get bumped off of the feed.
But don't worry, Josh, that won't count for you. I'll take care of the service.
How about the other?
All right, go for it.
Hi, we are DogTag, and we're a social media app for dogs and dog owners, obviously. The owners would be using it, not the dogs. But the purpose of it is for dog owners to kind of get together in the community. It was kind of aimed towards city settings where dog walking is kind of more of a cultural thing where, you know, there are dog parks and people will walk their dogs and make friends with other dog owners. So we designed the app to kind of specifically for dog owners so they can find other people in the area who may be walking their dog at that time. And they also have the option to set up a profile for their dog and kind of go over certain specifications like their behavior or their diet, so people who want to get to know them maybe may know a little more about the dog, as well as hired dog walkers who may not know much about the dog that they're about to start walking. This would be beneficial to them because they learn more about the dog before they go to walk them. So we put together a quick, also, I guess we should explain that the three of us are designers, not developers, so we attempted to code something this weekend. I'm not really sure what, but we scrapped that today and just completely finished the interface, so.
This is what it would look like.
Yeah, it is, you know, we have like kind of a demo thing, so go ahead. What it would look like.
Questions from the judges?
So the users are dog walkers who want to connect with other dog walkers and people who are like keeping walking analytics or something?
Yeah, like pet sitters may find this useful because like, you know, someone may call for a pet sitter and then not give them any information about the dog, and that dog would be like completely out of control, and they, you know, would show up to this dog that would start attacking them. Like you can set up like the dog is good with strangers, or if the dog is good around other dogs, if you're going to walk them towards like a dog park or something. So it, you know, it could help a good number of people.
Yeah, there's also a social quality to it. If you have friends who own dogs, we call them Paw Pals, and you add, and you can also meet people that way too, other like dog enthusiasts and dog walkers, people who own dogs. You become Paw Pals, and you can see if they're automatically in the area walking their dog. You can plan events that way, see like how close they are. You can meet up.
Because you guys couldn't find the other pieces maybe to do everything that you want to do for the weekend, and the three you guys have kind of the same discipline, from Friday until Sunday, was it kind of easy for you to do what you had to do, or was the stuff that you ended up doing pretty difficult?
Well, it was a little difficult. We actually had started getting some help from one of the developers of the other team who said he could help us out on the side, and we were working diligently with him, and we are very thankful for him working patiently with us because we didn't know anything. But it didn't work out. Like we came up with the idea once we got here on Friday, and then we just started working out that, again, just the visuals mostly, and again, we attempted to start coding something. We wanted to make it a web app, and it just wasn't coming together in time. So there were some kind of slumps where things weren't working out. But overall, I think we managed to get our idea across.
How far did you make it in development?
Very far.
We can only design like the front end interface of like a couple pages, and then our developer was working with another team, so we were never like person-to-person contact. It was mainly like through email, so we could only send stuff, and it just communication-wise.
So we had like a couple pages with a couple drop-down menus, and that's really, so we decided to stick to just presenting it to look good.
And then be a project for future endeavors.
So what do you guys think you would do next after this weekend, sort of getting the bearings as far as, okay, being a developer, and what does it take to actually make a viable functioning product?
Yeah, I mean, that would probably be the next step, cleaning some stuff up within the, I mean, we have like all the mock-ups for all the pages practically. It would just take a developer to kind of put it together. And like we know basic front-end web design, so we do a little bit of that, but all the back-end stuff is missing. So it would take a lot of work on that.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, next up, presenting from where their stuff is.
Hi, so we are Team ToastFacts, and we had a dream of building a messaging system via internet-connected toasters. In that, via our website, you would be able to send them, which is live at toastfacts.com, that you could send messages to your friends' toasters. So with our team, which was comprised of designers and developers and mechanical and electrical engineering, we built a toaster, which is sort of working. No, it's toasting, yeah. And put together the website, which I guess you can talk about the website a little bit.
Yep, so with your internet-connected toaster, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to toastfacts.com and register. So given that the internet might not actually work, when you click sign up, oh, awesome, working. You enter your credentials, and the most important thing here is that you're registering your toaster with the website. Every toaster has a unique ID, and that's important for getting your messages securely so that they can be destroyed. So I'm just going to save some time and log in. Let me see if I can. Is it working off? All right. Let's log in. So this is all live. And let's...
Now, an interesting point is based on the method we're using to toast. We have an 8-bit font.
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead. Since that
I
was
gonna
my
say,
problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so to get to this point, because it's all live and working, what we had to do was calculate the resolution of our toaster in millimeters, then convert that to a pixel grid over the piece of toast, then find a font that we could map. Then we converted all of the text that you enter here to an image that we overlay on the toast, and then send the coordinates to our toaster, which then takes the message that you sent and prints out the G-code. It's translating it to the machine language that is powering our motor to basically print an image of your text onto the toast. So yep, and here we go.
2 minutes or so?
We send it. And your toast is sent, and the toaster then is pulling the website and says, hey, new toast is available, and downloads the coordinates and just starts printing them out on your toast. And then, I think our best feature is the security, because we use true one-time pads.
It should be noted that there's client isolation on the Wi-Fi, so I'm sorry, it's the client isolation that doesn't allow us to talk between the. We had to manually send the message that it's printing right now.
Yeah.
We need a keyboard in the pod. Yeah, we're out of USB ports, and there was a bunch of technical things with transporting it here.
But yeah, so we're just printing a stored message right now over here. But it has the full capability to download a message, you know, if we were connected to the internet. And, you know, whatever you put in there is just going to start printing out, and we have like some samples showing what we have printed as well.
You haven't eaten it yet.
Oh yeah, it's a negative to give a nice clear list.
It should be noted that it's not a.
That was made with a laser.
Yeah,
we didn't do that on
That's a little higher resolution. That's in version 2.
That was actually something we did with a laser cutter for the design aspect in order to make the texture that's involved in the logo.
Our resolution is 23 by 23 pixels, and each pixel is about the size of a pencil eraser. So
We're working on Retina Toast.
Yeah. But
so that's Toast.
yeah, I mean it's yeah. So well, it goes a little.
Is it still printing? Is it still printing?
It's still, yeah. It's
you let me want to look at it.
Yeah, I mean,
come around.
It'll be printing for like, it'll be printing for.
I wouldn't need it.
A while.
We have tried.
Yeah, your toast will be ready in 2 to 3 months. It is not fast.
So yeah,
right now.
So you can see the,
it's
we're lowering the hot end onto the toast to actually.
Yeah, it's basically there's a heated point here that's being lowered onto the toast.
You have a question? Please do not touch it.
You want to explain how the grid?
Yes, well, basically, the reason you're not seeing right now, what you should see is a line on the break and a line on the break and a line on the break, just a test message because we couldn't download the actual message. But the issues we're having right now are mostly just, well, no, in terms of the resolution, it's the getting the right number set up for how far to move in the x-axis, how to move in the y-axis.
Sort of the calibration that.
Pretty much, yeah, it needs to be calibrated.
Yeah, but all the data
This is
yeah,
Dev
we
Toaster?
there. So like, yeah, everything's working. The website stores it, the toaster pulls it, and then we're just having to calculate the distance to move between each pixel. But the
So at the end here, it actually
printing just is
we do it row by row, basically, in the typewriter. There's a print out a row, and then
23
basically
pixels down.
line feed character turn, which is what it's doing right now. Yeah.
All right, judges, questions?
Will this work with wheat or rye toast as well?
The scale of the
We're working on a toast compatibility list currently.
Yeah.
If you plug it in
Pumpernickel's not supported.
and bagels, we do not support bagels at this time. However, you can buy a maintenance contract from us, and we will promise to put that feature in. We might not deliver on that.
How many, raise your hand if you're on this team. I'm trying to figure out how big the team is. A little higher.
Just us.
Oh,
we had a back end team. We had a design team.
Yeah, there was a lot to do with.
Then we had
Where did you start this weekend at?
Wait, did anyone mention about the 3D
We
printing?
owned toastfacts.com, and that was it. And we had the idea to do it, but otherwise had nothing.
No parts
No
existed.
hardware was developed, no code was written.
This came up in a bar.
So we are, I can talk a little bit about the hardware in that we did 3D print a whole mess of parts, but we had some around the space that we used and repurposed from other projects. We built a plywood gantry template basically to get all the dimensions down, then did all the CAD designs and laser cut the case, so everything was like accurate and balanced. But I mean, we were sawing metal rods and stuff at 8 o'clock this morning, like to actually build a case, so it did not exist. This is there's an Arduino under here. This is a Rams board, which is a common like gantry shield.
Don't forget, we have a huge shout out to Rich, right, for 3D printing just about like.
Yeah, Rich designed the cam here that's lifting, and there was a lot to do. But we didn't really have any of it. It's actually a hot end that you would use in a 3D printer that had never been used in a printer. So there's no plastic in it or anything, but as it turns out, we had to run it super hot. You know, your average printer's at like 200 Celsius, and we're at 250 at the tip, like 450 in the heating block. So I'm not sure how long this will continue running before it melts itself to death.
It's doing that now.
Is it?
Well, yeah, it's lower than it should be already.
Okay.
You guys can turn that off.
It's doing a character turn, right?
It's doing
Next one, toast fire.
I'm sorry, are there any other questions?
I'm sure I should be encouraged, discouraged by being surprised it works.
Well, pushing the limits of the software, we've had to.
We worked down to the wire in that we actually had not had a test that was even as complete as what you're watching prior to having to get in the car and come over.
This was our first test and it was good.
Yeah, so we tested all the parts individually, but hadn't had the final assembly running. We kind of ran out.
Yeah. So it's doing what it should. It goes to the coordinate, lowers, burns, and got everything. So it's just, you know, a little slow for demo.
All right.
Yeah, this is laser. This is the laser cutter.
All right. Are you ready? Good. Go for it.
Everybody, I'm Holly. And I'm Kelsey. And this is Artie. The whole concept of this idea, we had a makey, and we knew that we wanted to hook it up to a stuffed animal and make a stuffed animal conductive. So we had this really vague idea of what we wanted to do, and then we pulled it together on Friday night and built Artie. So we turned it into an educational experience for very small children that are just learning the basic ideas of what hands are, what feet are, what is a nose, what are ears. So it's a interactive experience for kids. So we just pulled this web page together. So you'd say, let's get started. And you say, can you find my feet? So she's grounded to the electrical circuits going through the makey, and she's going to touch his foot. Say, yeah, I found my foot. If you hit the wrong extremity, he goes, oh no, and he gets all sad. No. So then you would touch his foot again, and both feet are connected, so you can touch both feet and it'll work. And you go to the next question. And it circles all the way through. So you can find my hands. Thumbs up, find my hands. Can you find my ears? Nose. And then he has this adorable little heart right here. Found it, and you did it. And you could start back over again. So it's really elementary, really simple, straightforward. If this was a real thing, obviously you wouldn't be giving your kid a bear wrapped in tinfoil. But they do make conductive fabrics that actually have conductive material wound through them, and it's just a fun way to take a physical thing and make it more interactive with the web page. So it's just kind of a fun experience for us, and it was just the both of us. I was more responsible for this whole connection between the bear and the web page, and Kelsey was more responsible for the whole design of the logo and the teddy bear himself. She supplied the teddy bear too, which is great.
Questions, judges?
So you guys got all this done this weekend?
Yes. We literally thought about it
Friday?
Friday? Yeah. We had no idea what we did. Josh Miller gave us the makey. He's like, make something with her. We're like, okay. We have no idea what, but that's what we were brainstorming on Friday.
Was it your first time using a makey?
Yes. Yes. So we had to do a lot of research on it. A lot of the stuff that they do it with the company that they do a lot of music stuff. For example, like a banana piano. They do a lot of music related items. So we didn't really do music. We wanted to try to do something else. So we ended up leaning towards a stuffed animal with educational purposes.
Did you investigate having like the bear ask the question, like, can you find my hand? Can you find my ear?
Like literally?
Yeah, like speaking it, like using voice rather than visual.
But not really.
Yeah.
You were more centered on trying to figure out
Functionality of
the
it.
functions of it. We ended up using the key press function. So on the specific key press, that's when it knows you're touching the right part of it. But we didn't really explore sound. It was more the physical touch that we explored.
And in total, you said it's just the two of you guys?
Yep.
And this is all web-based, this whole thing?
Yep.
It's fun. Like a bear into a website.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice.
So I see they're connected directly, but they wouldn't necessarily need to be, or?
Yes. For this purpose, yes, because it's connecting to the keyboard of the computer and working off of that key press idea. In terms of wirelessly doing that, I'm not
Sure how it.
not 100% sure, but just conceptually, the whole connection was, this would have to be directly connected for now.
Hey, can I ask you, when you said before you could do anything, you guys spent Friday doing a lot of research?
Yeah.
When did you actually get to start rolling your sleeves up and starting to work?
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, we started putting them together, and then on, I started writing code and figuring out the key press function of hitting the right key and versus not, and then it was just a matter of connecting him to it, and then he became the keyboard connection. So it was, once I figured out that, it was a matter of just making sure that the tin foil was touching at the right time and making sure the circuits wouldn't break and stuff like that. So once we got it, it really came together really, really well.
And what's your background?
I'm primarily graphics and advertising. We're both Josh's students. I do some interactive stuff, and then Holly is primarily interactive and graphics.
Is your first experience making something physical like this?
Physical, yes.
Cool.
What about coding? Did you had some coding experience or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I have more, not really any back-end experience, but I'm more into, front-end. This was mostly JavaScript going, and so I had a basic understanding, so with what I understood, I was able to execute it.
Cool. Good job.
Hello, everyone.
Go for it, guys.
Hi, we are ShoppyMap, and we are an application that will allow you to find retail availability of a specific product that you want to find on a map. I came up with the idea for ShoppyMap. It was my wife's birthday just the other day, and I'm driving home from work going, I didn't buy her a present. And so I wanted to find how I could find a store that was on my way home that had what I wanted to buy her at a good price that was not very far out of my way. And there really wasn't a good way to find that. I mean, I could Google a specific store, or I could just Google shopping, but there's not a way to find a specific product. So I decided to come here to Startup Weekend and find a group of developers who can help me build exactly that. And I have Fetty, I have Jalal, and Georgie here. We're representing actually 4 different countries, if you count the country of Delaware, Algeria, Pakistan, and Bulgaria. So Fetty, if you could bring us to the application. Yep. What we have is it's a super simple HMI. It's just a search box on a map, and you can type in, for example, any product. In items, we did ice. Yes, we can do ice.
So we focused on functionality. Like, we didn't have a lot of time to implement some really high UI, so there was a lot of work in the back end. It's like you can question why haven't this been done before? And it's not. There's so many APIs to request from major companies like Walmart, all the major companies, but
so what are you showing here on the map? Can you full screen that for us? Yeah. So what you're seeing here, this is our current location. It's pulling that just out of the web browser. And if we go up to the search box, why don't you show us what happens? Let's search for ice. Xbox, ice, whatever. All right, so we're running the query for ice, and there is not a very good internet connection here, so it's going to take
it's supposed to be really fast. We focused on how to launch the application really fast, so person that might be driving or something just pull out and look up for the information. This is really high.
Can you scroll out?
Yeah.
Okay, so the primary API we're working with is Walmart, and actually, it's not actually using their API. We're actually scraping their website for the store IDs.
So what we've done, it's not actually, we didn't actually just go and do things the way they're supposed to be done, did we?
No. So the problem with their API is they don't give us store inventory. So we want to know where can we find ice at a Walmart. So what we had to do was go to their store and search through their search system, pull the data from their JSON files, and bring it back to us. And here you can see, we have a result for ice in the Walmart in Quakertown, in Whitehall, and Lehighton. So that's all automated in the back end, and that's just for one store. So we wanted to implement all the major stores like Best Buy and Target and Kohl's and all like the major retailers, so you can find anything you wanted anywhere. Due to time constraints, we got the Walmart one primarily working.
So the other thing we wanted to talk about was, we actually had to literally hack Walmart's website to get this data into our map, and so I'm really proud of these guys for that. But we also had how many different programming languages? As many languages as I think we probably speak as a group. Our application is speaking to itself. So how many languages do
So
we
we
have?
came up here Friday, we didn't know each other, and each one of us knew a language or two. I knew PHP, like he done basically the Java work, he done some JavaScript, Node.js, and our fifth person that couldn't come up today did a lot of Ruby and PHP, and then today we just gathered everything up and we had it running for the presentation. There's really a lot of work going in the background. As he said, like there was some custom URL to get the request we wanted, because each API, Walmart one and all the other majors works on there, have their way of working, and we had to get the data we wanted from all those major stores. Yeah. Anything else?
So the cool thing about this is, this is part of a global trend called web rooming, which is a $1.5 trillion industry. A lot of monetization potential here. I can't wait to bring it further. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So this is live with Walmart. You can search for anything that Walmart sells and find where it is.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yep. That's impressive.
Do any pricing?
Oh yeah, we didn't show that. If you hover over the bubbles, it gives you pricing. It's supposed to actually say the price over the bubble automatically, but
We have
you have to hover.
We have so much data. We had to decide what data we wanted to put on this map, but we have all the data through the different APIs we've got.
In your exam, I saw a screen up that looked like they were looking for a dishwasher or something, and it gave you like Best Buy, H.H. Gregg, Sears. That's just kind of what it could be if you had APIs for all the different stores?
Yes, that is a concept drawing, and this is the actual.
Oh, sorry, you're switching to the next one.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so we had like a list of retailers that we wanted to access. Some of them had APIs, some of them didn't, some of them were private, and we had to kind of go like on a case-by-case basis and handle each store individually. Nice.
That's a great idea to like list out the stores in the distance from you, like then.
We called some of them. We requested APIs. Some of them told us to get ourselves verified, some credit card information.
Yeah, we have accounts with about 10 different retailers, and it's just there's a custom integration required for every single one. Also, I'd like to scale this out to small retailers using QuickBooks. So there's a way we can basically invent a plugin for QuickBooks that'll feed this up to our API and pull it in. So those are things in the long-term plan.
Why would you connect it with QuickBooks? I missed.
Oh, because QuickBooks would know the inventory and the in-stock status of specific products at smaller stores. So right now, the big box stores are easy because they're national, and integration is a whole lot of work. So we would want to pick one like QuickBooks that we could trust a lot of different people have, even if they're just one small mom and pop shop.
That's a great next step. And this was just an idea on Friday.
Yep. Not one pixel, not one byte.
Yeah, the thing is, each one of us are pretty good at the language we do, but none of us knew how to hook it all up together. That was the majority of the work.
Did you learn a lot from each other in that process?
Absolutely, so much.
I think I've done first time JavaScript because I had to connect what they put me. I was like, okay, I have this information and I had to put it in our website and like to display it, and so I had to know how to do that. I had to learn Perl, some other script languages. I think for the first time he put a Node.js app that we pushed to Heroku. We learned how to use a platform that shares all our codes together. We used GitHub as well. Yeah, for the first time.
I learned JavaScript 2 weeks ago, and today I built my first API. And we managed to integrate it into our product, and I'm very happy that I managed to do that.
Okay, cool.
Judges, any more?
All right, thanks.
All right, well. No, that's not what we want.
All right, one more time, right?
This is the one more team, yes. I'm gonna start the timer for myself. So, me and my daughter hacked something together this weekend. Ella, what did you have to do Friday night? She's gonna tell while I try to bring up a video.
Run up and down the stairs.
Why did you have to run up and down the stairs?
To let people in.
Why couldn't they get in on their own?
It was locked.
It was locked? What did you have to do to unlock it?
Press the silver pin.
Did you press the silver panel? So, after Friday night, what do we want to build?
The no stair runner.
The no stair runner. That's the name of our project. How does it work? What do we have to do?
The pin touches it.
The pin touches the plate? What's the thing that makes the pin touch the plate?
The servo.
The servo. And then how do we tell the servo to turn?
With the computer.
With my computer. So here's a video, since we weren't sure we could demo here. See if this video actually works.
Okay, so what do we have to do?
Well, right here, we're just showing they work, right?
Yes.
So there it is. You can see the red light go on, which means all you have to do is round the contact plate to tell it to open the door, because it's either a motion sensor or a contact plate. And here is her executing. Whoops, that's from. It's a completely different team sneaking in there. And here she is actually making it happen from my computer. And nothing happens because she's here and not at the bottom of the stairs. Now, if the internet works, what we set it up to do, and for those of you, do you remember what service we used? How did we send the messages?
PubNub.
Through PubNub, that's right. For any of you who know PubNub, we use the real-time communications API to send and receive messages, and then I hooked it up, since I work for Nextbell, to an SMS. Did you see that? Did anybody see that? An SMS, so I have to send a message from the phone, and it moves the servo. So now at the Velocity Center, should I put this back there? I'm sure they won't let me do that. We can unlock their secure door from a text from my phone. So that's what we have together this weekend.
Sounds secure.
Any questions?
I have a question for the young lady here. Did you have any experience with hacking building security systems before this weekend?
With hacking before this weekend?
Hacking building security
Oh,
systems.
hacking. No, she has not hacked building security systems before.
And have you had any experience in running up and down stairs before this weekend before?
Those of you who are at the Velocity, it was a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
It was a significant amount of stairs.
And there were a lot of people coming in at different
There were. She was counting on Saturday. She told me like 30 because I wanted to have it done Saturday morning, and we didn't get it done until Sunday morning, so she's tired. Any other questions, judges? All right, what we're going to do is send the judges back.